It's kind of interesting, right? Look at this. Here's a caller that called into the Parliament to ask about this and the relationship. Listen to this here.
Question commentaire, questions and comments. The honourable member for Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to my colleague's speech. I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering, in the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? My concern is the deputy.
Order. I know that the member was in a really good question there, but the audio is really bad and the video is really
not really
bad as well.
Not really.
Whoa! I don't know if the member. Okay.
Let's move on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The honourable member for Timmins James Bay.
Clown
Mr. Speaker,
world.
that member
dude.
was promoting open disinformation. That's not debate. We have to call out disinformation.
We'll get into debate again. The honourable member, questions and comments. The honourable member for Lambton, Kent, Middlesex.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'm just thank you to my honourable colleague for her speech. I'd like to ask her specifically, because you talked about how this piece of legislation...
Okay, it goes on a bit there, but do you hear what the other guy said that came in? This is not debate. This is misinformation. Shut it down immediately, you know?
Right, yeah. Rebuke him. The World Economic Forum is a conspiracy theory, like the ADL said, right? The Great Reset is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
It's incredible. So let's prove it. Here's Klaus Schwab. Listen to what he said about.
And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin, and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Well, we'll talk more about that later. But listen to Trudeau here, the cabinet, the penetration of the cabinet. There we go.
Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau.
What use of words to
penetrate the cabinets?
No,
yeah,
but Mossad penetrates our governments. Yep. They penetrate the cabinet,
literally, like bending you over, like shoving their.
Yeah. Could you imagine if like not that I'm definitely not a fan of Putin by any means, but if Putin were to publicly say that he's penetrated the Trump administration,
right? I know. No,
would
exactly.
they let him get away with that?
It's incredible. Did you see the letters that come out in the Netherlands too? There were like letters written between some of the Dutch politicians and Klaus Schwab, and he was like, "Oh, thank you for being such collaborative with the Great Reset." And he even said, like, because you're so cooperative, you will have basically a seat at the table when we begin drawing up the new trade agreements and the new the new order. Essentially, I mean, he didn't use those words, but if you read between the lines, that's what he was saying. Saying because